All right, welcome everybody. This is Charles, and we are live right now, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, June 14th, 2020. Hello, everybody out there. This is Charles, and with me is my good friend, the internationally known, world-famous Dirk Breakbush. What's up, Dirk?
Well, I'm still celebrating my worldwide recognition and everything. And after your announcement that I was doing poorly, I, as you know, had almost 1,000 people wishing me well. And I think we ought to make this a competition, Charles. I put something on about you and see how many you get back.
You should
And
do it.
then we,
I don't think I'm going to get as many as you. I'm not as well-liked as you.
yeah, but you're the voice. You are the voice.
Oh,
I
that's
have
like...
the accent. Maybe it's the accent. I have the accent. You got the voice.
You have the wit, you have the personality. I'm just like a wet noodle, Dirk.
Ah, that thing you published this morning about the yellow submarine was
Yeah.
absolutely amazing.
What did you think about that? I
I thought
posted
it
it.
was amazing.
I thought I would get more reactions. I didn't get a whole lot of reactions. I was a little. Look. I didn't spend a whole lot of time on it. That's for sure. I just put it together and I put some. I put whatever footage I had. I crammed it together. I didn't even do any transitions or anything. I just kind of. I thought it would be interesting for people, and I didn't get a lot of. Feedback. I was surprised. Maybe just people didn't see it, or I'm not sure. But I
Well,
think that's such an interesting story.
yeah, I think what they did is, Charles, they didn't comment, but they acknowledged it. So we had a
Yeah,
bunch of
it got a
acknowledgement.
it got a lot. It got a good amount of views. But for those of you that don't know, we're gonna talk about that, Dirk. That post that you just mentioned. I got some great footage today too. Today was incredible. I went out this morning with my son up here in New York City. It was one of the best flying days for drones that I've ever had. There was no wind. I was able to go all the way out into the bay by the Verrazano Bridge there, and it was a beautiful day. But for those of you that don't know, Dirk is recovering at home after being hospitalized. He's doing great, right, Dirk? You're on the mend and you're doing well.
Especially with your tips how to do it.
Yep, he's recovering nicely. He's back. He was gone for a couple of weeks. He missed last week, and Dirk was just mentioning this post that I just did. I just put it on the screen, and I put this on yesterday morning early, knowing that Saturday was one of the busier days in the group. And what a lovely, overwhelming amount of support you got, Dirk. The comments, people took the time to wish you well, and you're doing great. And it was very nice to see. And I'm going through all the comments and everything. And everybody sent their well wishes and or did a little bit of a like or a hug or a heart out to you. And it was such a nice show of appreciation for you and the work that you do in the group. And I have to personally thank you for everything. It's such a great having you as a partner and the dedication that you have to making this a great forum for all of us to come and talk about what we love to do with cruising. And with your with the time you put in, it was really, really well deserved. And so thank you for everything that you do in the group. And I hope you're recovering and doing great.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Reading all those comments and everything else really helped. I mean, from a psychological standpoint, it's better than any doctor telling you you're okay.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
really nice. Just thousands, just wonderful, wonderful, hundreds and hundreds of comments and almost 1,000 emotes. And you're really well liked, and we hope you're doing well. And you sound good. You sound great. You sound like your old self. So that's always
I
nice
feel
to hear
good. I feel good.
too.
I really do. So, what can I say? It's amazing.
So I'm glad you're doing good. And so we were talking about, I went out yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, and if you live in the Northeast, the last 2 days have been absolutely spectacular. They have just been beautiful. Yesterday and today in New York, it was cool, it was sunny, it was dry, and a low wind, and just really beautiful days. So I took advantage of that yesterday and today. And just to get out of the house and get my kids out, because as you know, we've been kind of in lockdown up here. It's not so much as long as now it's a lot less restrictive, and people are much more comfortable than they had been in March and April when the crisis hit. So there's a lot more people out and about, but still it's rattling if you're with other people, or if your kids spend time with other people, their friends or whatever. It kind of is a little bit rattling, especially for someone like myself or their mother, who are, we're not so young anymore, and I'm not worried about my kids so much as I'm worried about my ex-wife and I getting sick. So it's a little bit rattling. So today we went out. It was beautiful. We took advantage of the day. A lot of people were out and about. And I took that drone footage yesterday of that submarine, Derek. I think I posted it earlier today, and I saw that you caught it. What'd you think of that
I thought he was
story?
amazing. I didn't realize. I thought the only submarines that would be there would be one German submarines that somebody like the Americans sank, But I guess no.
Yeah, it was. What a crazy story! And for some reason, Dirk, we got low viewership today. I'm trying to see if we're posting and broadcasting in all the regular spots that we're broadcasting in. Maybe because it was so nice, a lot of people are out of the house today. Let me just make sure that we're broadcasting. But in the meantime, let me say hello to some folks. So we got all our regulars are on. Yeah, we're broadcasting. Yeah, we're live. We got a bunch of our regulars here. I just want to send my regards out to Andrea. Hey, Andrea, what's going on? Karen, welcome. Brunilda, what's up, Brunilda? Everybody's saying welcome back, Dirk. Brunilda, welcome back, Dirk. We got, who else we got? Christine. Hello, Christine. William. Steven. Ron. What's up? Everybody's wishing and welcoming you back. So it's good to have you, Dirk. I have to say, it's nice to hear your voice. I'm glad you're doing good.
Ron from Kirchville.
Ron from Kirchville, the master barbecuer.
Well, I have a challenge on that.
I have to say, I don't think I've ever sat down and did a taste test between the two Texas or Memphis barbecue. I'm sure I would enjoy them equally well if I did try them both.
I hate to tell you this, Charles, but we have a big Memphis in May is a big celebration in Memphis. Celebrating a nation, or a country rather, like Portugal or whoever, and that's the whole month of May, and one of the big deals is a 3-day World Championship Barbecue Festival, and I'm a certified judge for that, and I'm also a pit master. So,
really?
Ron, I take the challenge, brother, but it's going to be pork and not. What's another stuff? Beef.
Beef.
Beef. I know. It's going to be pork.
I think I might prefer pork barbecue over beef barbecue, but I do like beef brisket. Beef brisket is incredible. I love that.
Beef brisket is
that's
amazing.
My favorite. Yeah.
Beef brisket is amazing. So the pork shoulder.
Pork shoulder. That's the best one.
Ron, it'd be pork shoulder, and we both with FedEx samples to Charles, to New York.
I'll gladly accept it.
Do a blind tasting.
I'll gladly accept it. Send it over. I'll do the blind taste test, and I'll happily let you know.
If you accept the challenge as a judge, Charles,
I absolutely accept the challenge. I absolutely accept the challenge. So there's a couple of things, Dirk, that we gotta talk about. Mark Sr. Hey, Mark Sr.'s here. He says, well, Dirk is back.
Yay!
Hey, Mark, what's going on? Hope you guys are doing good. So I did this video, folks, in Brooklyn in the 1960s. Apparently, this gentleman built his own submarine. I don't know how he pulled it off. Apparently, he was a shipyard worker. And he he built this submarine. I'm putting it on the screen now, and this is what it looks like. This is what it looked like in better days when it's now it's a little bit more rusted out. But the shipyard worker in the 60s, what's that?
Can you turn on the? I just have. Okay, no, it's coming on.
Yeah,
okay.
there's a little bit of delay. So this is like in Coney Island Creek. And it happens to be not right where I'm able. It's one of the few places that I could fly my drone in near where I live. And this guy built a submarine, and apparently I posted a picture today that he was able to get to salvage off of a couple of ships. He was able to salvage like some valuables off a couple of sunken vessels using this submarine at some point. And his ultimate goal was to use it to salvage cargo from the Andrea Doria. He
Whoa,
was that was
one
his
that got,
goal.
isn't that the one that got rammed by another ship?
Yeah, that was a cruise ship that got rammed by another ship. So the submarine is sitting in this creek along with other wreckage, and I have some great footage of all these other wrecked barges and boats that are in this little creek here. I don't know. At some point, they must have just beached all these ships in here. Like this is actually a barge. Excuse me, I had to cough. This is actually a barge that they just beached, and it's just been here for God knows how long. The submarine has been here since, I think it was 66, they said. 1966. The guy they put it in the water here, and it sunk into the mud, and the guy couldn't get out. But he tried to raise money to get it set loose, and he couldn't get it out of the mud.
Hey, Charles, is that an active waterway?
This is an active waterway. There's like
Wow.
I mean, the boats come through here. I think there's a little marina up here somewhere. Yeah, there's a little marina here. There's not a whole lot of boat traffic that goes through this creek. But believe it or not, there are a lot of people fishing. This is a giant Home Depot, and there's access to the shoreline here. And so people use the Home Depot parking lot. They fish along here. You could see there's a little access point here and a little trail, and you could go to the waterway. All of this stuff is all burned out. Like there's an old dock here that somebody who knows lit on fire. And even if you go over here, it smells like this has a very unique burnt tar smell over here. But you could access the beach. People fish in there. I don't know if I eat any fish in here. Tons of people over here fishing off the Coney Island Creek Park shore here. I don't know. I wouldn't eat fish. If you read the DEP website, they say you could eat fish, any fish that's south of the Verrazano. I don't know, Dirk. Would you eat any fish that come out of here? This creek?
No.
No, I
I
wouldn't.
don't think so.
No, I would not either. But people are fishing out there, man. They go on this beach. They're out there with their fishing poles. I think I might have some footage of them. But I thought it was so interesting. I went out yesterday and I wanted to film the submarine, and I got some great footage, and I created a little video that I posted this morning on our site. And I'm just going to play a little bit of that video now. Put a little music to it. Like I said, it's not great, but it's such an interesting story that this guy went out. He built this submarine in his spare time, and it was actually operational, and he actually did it. And then on one of his voyages, it sunk. So
Hey, Charles, did the ship we were talking about earlier, did they also kill a guy in a wheelchair they rolled overboard? Was that the same
the Andrea Doria?
ship? Yeah.
I don't recall that, but that's the ship that they retrieved that safe from. Remember, I think we talked about it before on the air. They were able at some point in the 1980s to salvage a safe, and then Geraldo Rivera did the special, opening the safe of the Andrea Doria. Do you remember that?
I don't watch that guy.
Oh man, it was like Geraldo Rivera in the 80s did a whole special. He was just coming off the heels of his expose of a mental institution in Staten Island, the Willowbrook. He changed mental health, that guy in New York, institutionalized mental health, Geraldo Rivera, by exposing, there was a very large facility in Staten Island called Willowbrook, where it was basically an inpatient hospital for people with psychiatric, a psychiatric disability or some kind of neurological functional disability. And he went in there and exposed the place, and he broadcasted and went live on the air in the 60s, and he exposed that place, and ultimately it closed down, and they changed the model for mental health based on that expose. Did you know that, Dirk?
No, but we
That's
have
how he
something-
got famous.
We have something similar here, which we visited Sunday before last, and that's similar. They still did the electroshocks and everything else. I won't send you the pictures on it. They closed it down. They left it. I mean, they still got retainer chairs where they retain kits and whatever, and on one floor they got all the suitcases that people arrived with. It's eerie. We didn't realize after we left that it was strictly prohibited to even sightsee the place.
Oh, really?
Well, after we saw the sign that we shouldn't have been there, the state of Tennessee owns that whole property. It's huge. It belonged to a general that was a plantation, and then the state bought it and put that hospital there, and it looks like a prison. I want to send it to you. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
in fact, Margaret worked there during her practicum when she did her degree, and she said she still remembered holding people down when they got their feet down or whatever, and she could feel the electric shocks.
Oh, wow.
So it was bad.
Yeah, it's the practice, institutionalized behavioral health is a scary thing. But this place was called Willowbrook. If you look it up, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see that Geraldo Rivera, that's how Geraldo got famous. He did this big expose on this Willowbrook mental institution in Staten Island.
Did he get his mustache before or after?
His mustache? I think he had his mustache then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He had his mustache. And that's how he got famous. And then he was just coming off the heels of the Willowbrook expose, and he did this special on the Andrea Doria safe that they found. And we did speak about it before on the show. And they opened the safe, and there was nothing. It was a big live television event. They did a big lead up to it. They had the safe in the New York Aquarium shark exhibit to keep it safe, like in case there were valuables in it, then so nobody could steal it. They put it in the shark tank of the Coney Island Aquarium, and they would take pictures. I remember being on the front page of the Daily News, and it was built up to this big live TV show. Everybody was wondering and speculating what was in the safe. Was there gold in the safe, jewelry, gems, like what was in there? And it was nothing. There was they did this whole big television event, an hour-long special event, and there was nothing in it, nothing in that safe. But it was kind of funny. So anyway, this guy built that submarine to try to salvage whatever he could from the Andrea Doria, and luckily he didn't go down there because he would have got a safe full of nothing.
Well, Ron just said that he thought that Geraldo did the Al Capone safe.
He did then right after that. That's correct. Then right after the Andrea Doria, they had another live TV event with Geraldo, and it was Al Capone's secret vault. And they had a room that they thought Al Capone hid all of this stuff in. And again, they went into the room. There was nothing in it. It was zero in it. And that was right after that. So now, yeah, Mark is saying Willowbrook is now the College of Staten Island. That's right, Mark. So they redid the city bought Willowbrook, or they owned it already. I don't know the story behind the property, history of the property, but they converted all of the old buildings on that campus to college classrooms, and they created a very big college. And Mark, I actually went there for a few years. I didn't graduate from there. I transferred out. But I actually went there, and I really enjoyed it. They really did a great job when it first opened. I was there. It was was really well done, and the campus is huge. So that's the story with Geraldo and Willowbrook and how that ties in. I don't know how that tied into the Andrea Doria, but we made it happen, Dirk. And so that was the story. I thought a lot more people would have liked that video. I guess people weren't so into it. But there's a lot of interesting things in that little creek. All those old barges, and I read a couple of articles today about it. This is the spot where the submarine is right here. That's the submarine that I just showed. And all these wrecks in here. There's all of these these barge wrecks that they just beached and left to rot. This you could see the outline of a boat. This is there. There are people crawling on these things. Yesterday I saw somebody out. I was here flying my drone in this spot here. And there was a lady crawling in here. I'm like, this lady's gonna kill herself. What is she doing? But I don't know what she was looking for. I think mussels grow in here, and I think she was looking to harvest mussels to eat. I don't know. I wouldn't eat anything out of here.
Well, that's normal. That's why in a lot of areas they sink ships, well, warships and whatever, for two things to start fish life, and also corals and mussels.
Yeah, there's all mussels in here. They're filter feeders. They're supposed to clean the water, and the water was very clear. Like I have more footage I probably have about an hour of solid flight footage from that area. And the water yesterday and today super clear. Super clear. Like you could see right through there. That'll change as the summer goes on. It'll get darker and darker. But it was beautifully cleared this past couple of days here.
A lot of history there.
Yeah, I'd like to know. Just think that ship, that submarine, 1966 apparently it was built. So that's how many years ago, Dirk? I lose track. 50, 60 years. Right? 54 years.
Yeah.
That thing has been sitting there for 54 years. So I thought it was a good story, and I was interested to share it with everybody. Are there any demonstrations by you, Dirk?
Any what?
Demonstrations?
Memphis had demonstrations for 7 nights. We had a curfew. They had a few incidents the first night, and then after that, none. But we also had a curfew from 10 to 6 a.m., from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., and there were just marches, but no arrests, etc., etc. So just the first night, but no looting. I think one police car, they bashed in the windows, but otherwise it was pretty quiet. Memphis had big race riots after Martin Luther, over the garbage men, when came up as "I'm a Man," and they got the museum here. So yeah, and they burned and looted, and they actually brought the troops in for that one, not just the Salvation Army, but the real troops.
Oh wow, the regular army?
Yep.
Not the National Guard, you mean?
As a matter of fact, the funny story, not a funny story, but during those rioting and everything else, and the chief of police, which was targeted also, was when I worked for the company, was our chief of personnel. So a lot of interesting stories, how they had the troops protected his house. And that's
wow.
So it's interesting to hear that. Yep.
Wow. There's a lot of ships in Norfolk, Virginia. There's 3 Norwegian ships. The Bliss, the Encore, and the Spirit are all in Norfolk right now. Docked in Norfolk in a commercial or military area there.
And the Pearl is on the way to South America, because one of my friends, which I made, he is the leader of a band. And I've been posting his pictures and everything else.
Oh, yeah. I remember you told me about that guy.
Right, but I'm posting some great pictures, and they're somewhere getting close to home. So,
the Joy is near South Korea right now. The Joy, the Pearl. I don't see the Pearl.
Should be on the way.
A lot of them in Europe. A lot of ships in Europe. We got the Star is in Scandinavia. Oh no, this is England. Sorry, not Scandinavia. Southampton. We got the Breakaway is in France, Marseille. The Escape's off the coast of Italy, Naples. Excuse me. It's headed for Naples. It's off the coast of Rome. The Jade is in Naples. This is where my ancestors are from here, actually. How funny is this?
From Naples?
No, it's this place called Gaeta. Gaeta. There's a Navy shipyard here. But this is where my great uncles and everybody came from in Italy.
You mean you're Italian?
I am a half Italian, and I'm Norwegian and Swedish.
Oh my God, good.
Yeah.
At least you show a little neutrality.
Yeah, so my dad was Italian and my mother was Swedish and Norwegian. And yeah,
Well,
I'm ashamed to say I don't know where they're from
well,
in Scandinavia. I should
well,
know.
Charles, at least I'm simpler than that. My mother and father were from Germany, and our family von Falkenhaus, which was the other name, goes back to the 1200s, but all Germans.
Wow, really?
So I guess that makes me German, right?
That makes you German.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to know. I have it somewhere where they're from. It's somewhere in here. It's not Oslo. It might be Moss actually. It might be Moss, which is right on the fjord. So maybe one day I'll visit there. That this is standing out to me. I think it's this because I knew it was like right on the way to Oslo. But yeah, my grandfather was Norwegian and my grandmother was Swedish. So my mother is fully Scandinavian.
Hey, does it count, Charles? My grandfather was a general in Norway. Does
Oh,
that
really?
count? He was stationed in Norway. Yeah, he was general in the German army.
I don't see the Jade, Dirk. You said the Jade was going to South America?
Pearl.
Oh, the Pearl. Is it? Did it leave port yet?
I don't know, but
Everything is still anchored. These are anchorages. All these.
maybe
The
it's
Dawn and the Sun are anchored off the coast of Florida.
he's the last thing he said somewhere near Panama.
Really? The Epic is in Miami.
What you
I'm
show
looking right
around
now.
Panama?
I didn't see anything there. Let me look. There's nothing.
That's strange.
It might be I forgot to add it to the. It's possible I forgot to add it to my fleet.
What's near Italy? Near
Uh,
Rome? Near Rome?
Italy, we got the Jade. The Jade is in Naples,
Okay.
and off the coast of Rome is the Escape.
Okay, because that's where one of my concierge, he's Pereira, Benny Pereira.
Uh huh.
He he sent me one. He said they're on the way to they were just landing a port in Rome or Fiumicino, and they estimated that they were going to be back in the Philippines at the end of July.
Maybe it's possible that I didn't add the Jade. I'm sorry. You said the Jade or the Pearl?
Pearl.
No, the Pearl is here. I wonder if I could find it. I don't know. So I can't find it. That's bizarre. Let
Well,
me
maybe it got hijacked.
see. Maybe they turned off the what do you call
Mark
it?
Mark wants to know who's left on these ships. But it's very simple to say, Mark. It's really a twofold story. Number one, they try to combine nationalities as much as possible to get them home to Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, etc., etc. So what they did is they kind of combined crew. Plus, then you got the people that are going to go back home, and then you got a skeleton crew. Of course, the tech crew is home, and so are the most of the officers. So it's really twofold. You know, the working crew, and then the expats to be patriot back with their country. So that's on both these ships. Is
Well,
that
it's
is
not
that
on.
right, Charles?
Oh, I was daydreaming, Dirk. I'm sorry. I was looking for the Pearl. What were you saying?
I was saying Mark wanted to know who's on these ships.
Oh
So I
yeah,
said
skeleton
it's
crew, right?
twofold. It's twofold. It's crew that they combined on different ships. So you got Malaysian, Indonesian, um, and et cetera, to go home, and even people going back to the Eastern Bloc countries. And then those are the crew members that are going home. Then on top of that, you got the working crew of course, the bridge tech crew, etc., etc. So you got working, operating the ship, and then you got most of the passengers are people that get repatriated at their homeland, and there's a problem. I just put it on yesterday, I believe. Is where once they get home, they get quarantined, can't get off board. They check them on board for 14 days. Then they check them again when they get off the ship, and then they get quarantined again. I mean, it's just awful.
I bet you. I heard, Dirk. Yeah, that's a process, right? That's
Yeah.
crazy. But you know what? You got to do it. This disease is horrible. But I heard that off Nicaragua there's like pirates. So it's possible that maybe the Jade is sailing off the coast of Nicaragua and turned off their transponder, their position. I don't know. I can't find it. It says it's in Jacksonville, but it's just not on the map.
Remember, Charles, we had a very detailed posting. Must have been from a crew member where they want to be, etc., etc. And then somebody that kind of helps repatriate these crews asked us to delete it because of pirate activity in that area.
Yeah, that was like. I remember somebody reached out to me and reached out to you, I guess, on Messenger. It was like, you have to delete a post. The crew is in danger. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And it had like a schedule of where the ship is going to be at a certain period of time. And basically they were saying that that we needed, they urgently requested that we delete that post because we were putting crew members in danger. Apparently, pirates monitor these things, and they look to see where the ships are going to be during certain periods of time.
But the one thing, is any one of these cruise ships can outrun the pirate ship.
Oh, I'm sure.
As far as fleet's concerned.
It's got to be frightening. It's got to be frightening.
Not so the freighters. That's why the freighters are the first goal to get, and there are a lot of U.S. warships down there too, and a lot of the freighters now have security crews on board with machine guns, etc., heavy machine guns. So, so they're a lot more defensive towards these pirates because they kept those ships and for ransom, big time ransom. Mostly Somalia area.
Yeah, Somalia is everybody knows that's a big hotspot. I had no idea that was like that level of pirate activity off the coast of Nicaragua. Like it's apparently very bad. We had that person reach out to us. I was like, what are they talking about? The crew's life is in danger because there's a post on the Norwegian Cruise Line Latitudes members page. But apparently it's a thing.
I communicated with her quite a bit. Why, etc., etc. She explained to me the reason, and you touched on it. And there's a group of people that are trying or assisting in repatriating these crews, and they are ex-crews, not active right now, and they doing this free of charge, of course. And that's why they were concerned that these detailed lists, which were published by crew members, as a matter of fact, on a timeline where they exactly were going to be. And that's why she asked us, you and I, to delete those because it could endanger the crew.
Yeah.
Which of course we did.
We did it. We did as soon as we could. Yep.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Did you see that other picture? There was a lot of posts of that. It was kind of a leaked schedule of cruise ships in the group. It was everywhere for a while.
Well,
it was everywhere.
It showed up again.
And today there was somebody posted it. I was gonna keep it. I keep it when people report that. I keep it because I just think it just keeps the conversation going. I know it's probably not the right thing to do because people respond to that. They get upset. But ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what I'm talking about, over the last week or so, somebody it got out. It was looked like somebody took a picture with their cell phone of an Excel file with the schedule of Norwegian ships and what their return to service date was. And there was no real verification. Like we
It
don't
also
know.
had,
We didn't know if it was real. We didn't know if it was fake.
it also had the propulsion. Remember, it also had the propulsion on it.
Had Azipods versus the other thing. I guess that kind of made it like appear official, right? It kind of gave the impression it was an official document. We don't know where it came from, but a lot of people were posting it, and it caused a little bit of a it sparked a lot of conversation in the group about reality, like because some people are booked. Some people are booked on certain ships, and then they saw their return. Their return to service date was after the date that they after the date that their cruise was planned for. So they were bracing themselves for a cancellation. So we started deleting it, but I was leaving it up. Somebody just posted it today, but that caused a lot of that stirred up the group pretty good, right, Dirk?
Yeah, but I got it from a good unnamed source that is not an official NCL document.
Okay.
It didn't look like it either, Charles.
It did. I didn't. It looked like
It was
somebody
very,
made it.
let me tell you one thing. It's just for the heck of it, even without being told. If you look at that, and then you look at the corporation and everything they put out is very professional. This piece, somebody took a picture of, that's baloney. As you can see, you see outline of a drawer to the right of it. I had it enlarged. So, somebody just made a bad joke.
Somebody was messing with us. You think?
I do, yes.
We should create something and get the group talking.
It's definitely not an NCL document.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was crazy. It caused a lot of stirred up the group a lot. Some people got their finally getting refunds too. It's funny because you see in the group somebody posts, "I got my refund today. Very excited. I guess they got money back on their credit card." People were very excited about it, and yet others are still waiting. There are many people waiting to see if their cruise is going to be canceled. Those that are booked in August. From what I understand, right now, unless something has changed, the last news I heard that NCL, and this is kind of, even though we're Cruise Mojo, the NCL is our focus. I think Dirk and I the NCL is our favorite cruise line. So NCL. I forgot where I was going with this. You know why? Because I'm talking and I'm looking at my phone. My daughter's trying to call me on my phone, so I got distracted for a minute. What was I talking about?
Let me tell you one thing, Charles.
Yeah.
That document, that fake. It's not just the fake news. It's also the fake documents.
It's fake. Yeah.
I don't think that NCL themselves know exactly what's going to happen where, because things change daily with the CDC, with ports not opening or opening. I think the latest was the Bahamas, not the Bahamas, Jamaica, and so ports. So they don't know. So they don't know where the shit's going to be. So the ship's going to be. So that's a dream document that NCA wouldn't plan on, because I don't think that. I'm sure they got an idea, but they don't know yet where the ship's going to be. They don't know
No, I don't
how
think
long
anybody
it
knows.
takes. They don't know how long
Right.
it takes. Let's say they go up to the Philippines, okay? So they're going to be anchored in the Philippines, maybe 2 weeks, depends when the government lets them out. Then they're going to, so that's time taken away from them being back in service. In the Philippines, I got a friend in the Philippines that lives not too far from Manila. They still have curfews, and their curfews are a little bit different than the U.S. curfews, because they will shoot you.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. That president is like a no nonsense guy.
Oh yeah, I mean, so
Duerte.
what I'm saying that there are too many unknowns at this time. How long it takes to repatriate these crews to their home country, and how long they keep them at bay before they can disembark. So there are too many ifs. So you can plan on ifs if you don't know when that ship is going to be back in service.
Yeah.
It's that's why it's just a very cheap joke.
I,
That
I,
joke or that
Yeah,
poor
I
joke.
remember what I was saying. So the latest I was talking about earlier, the latest news about NCL. Sorry, folks, I got distracted. But I know they canceled through July. We don't know about August yet, so we'll wait to see. But Dirk, I just pulled up on the map. I just turned off my fleets, and I was able to zoom in on Manila because we were just talking about the Philippines, and the number of ships that are there off the coast of Manila, which is the capital of the Philippines, in Manila Bay. Watch this, Dirk. I'm going to shut off my fleets, and all the other ships are going to populate. These are all ships off the coast of Manila. Look at these. All the blue are passenger ships. So we got the Costa Atlantica. We got the Carnival Panorama. We got, I don't know what this is, the New Amsterdam, Rotterdam, the
Holland
Crown
America.
Princess, the Sun Princess, the Pacific Explorer, the Pacific Princess, the Costa Neuromantica, the Pacific Aria. Look at this. Look how many ships are in this bay here. Wow, it's incredible, Dirk.
Can you
It's
imagine how long?
incredible.
Can you imagine if they, and of course they're quarantined. Can you imagine how long it takes authorities to get those people off the ship into quarantine?
The Queen Elizabeth is there. Wow, yeah.
So it's going to take. Nobody knows how long it's going to take. So how can you make plans when you know it's tough to give you a flight plan if you don't have an airplane?
Right. This is 5 here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 cruise ships off the coast of Manila right now, sitting there. What are these green ones?
Say 1,200 people each, which is probably low. So you got almost 30,000 souls.
Wow, this is amazing.
Or more.
You know how important the cruise industry must be to the Philippines?
Well, most of
It must be a vital employer.
The majority is they got most of the schools and everything too, with that contracts with NCL, training contracts, and amazing too is the other Asian ports or countries rather, Malaysia, and then I was surprised too, is how many are from the old Eastern Bloc countries down in the old ex-Yugoslavia, which is Croatia, etc. Tons of them there. Most of the tech crews, as a matter of fact, are from that area. And you've been on ships.
Yeah.
How often, at least 2 or 3 of the top crew are from the Croatia area.
We're gonna go look at that after this, but it's funny because the majority of the ships are Carnival owned ships.
Well, they got most of the brands.
Yeah, they got all of these ships: Diamond Princess, the Pacific Explorer. That's Royal Caribbean, I think.
Holland America, Queen Mary. They all.
There's only one Royal Caribbean. Costa is Carnival, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the Voyager of the Seas is the only one that's a non. This is a Royal Caribbean ship. That's the only one I see that is Queen Elizabeth. That's Cunard, which is owned by Carnival, correct?
That's right.
Wow, I'm stunned. I'm glad I did that. So you saying Croatia? You think that there are more ships off there? There's one in Port Crystal.
They're either there or they're steaming towards.
Is Crystal Cruises a Carnival company too?
Crystal, I think so.
Yeah, they're docked right now. That's the only one that's actually docked. All the others are anchored right off the coast of Manila. That's. Look at this picture. It's incredible.
And look at this, Charles. They have to dock in order to get off the ship because of the facilities and the checkpoints. So I don't think that they can They overwhelmed to start with. They don't have staff, so I don't think they're going to let 5, 6 ships uh, ferry them.
Absolutely,
To,
they gotta be very careful because I mean, you know what? They've been at sea for so long though. Like, if somebody was sick, they would know it. You know,
yeah,
they
but
would
they
know it
don't
by
trust
now.
that. They don't trust that. See,
Yeah, they should
they
be
want to
tested.
they want to do their own checks.
Even the tests though, they're not even that accurate. The tests. Look at all these ships around the globe. It's really amazing.
But the thing too, Charles, is that they they also board the ships, the authorities, and do the test before they even get on land. And once they get on land and they're cleared, then they again have to go in quarantine.
For 14 days.
Yep.
Marco Polo. So now I'm looking off the coast of Croatia, Dirk. Not like the Philippines, that's for sure.
Oh no, of course not.
Yeah. Wow. I love this. I love this program. This website's actually very incredible. Marco Polo is the only one I see, and that looks like a smaller looking
And
vessel.
he's been dead for years.
But I think maybe hundreds of years. Yeah, I'm looking off the coast, Dirk. I bet you that that the Norwegian Jade, is it the Jade or the Pearl? I'm sorry, I keep on looking, that you mentioned was going to Panama.
Pearl.
The Pearl. I bet you they turned off their transponder. I bet you they're off the coast of Nicaragua right now. Just trying to be safe. Because look, even off the coast, you could tell people steer clear of that. So you see all these vessels, ladies and gentlemen. You could see how much traffic there is. Even in the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean Sea. You could see how many vessels. And then you go off the coast of Nicaragua, Dirk. And the closest ship is a cargo vessel, but it's got to be, I'd say it's good 40 to 50 miles off the coast of Nicaragua, and the whole other area is clear of that space.
Yep.
Like off the coast there. There's like no
There's
ships. There's
there's
no
a
ships
reason
even
for the
in
season.
ports or anything. There's nothing right now.
That's the reason for the season. Huh?
Yep. So it's one of two things. Either there's nobody there, or they turn off their any kind of location beacons that they have, so that the pirates can't track them down. I heard San Andres is beautiful. There's a little island east of Nicaragua that I heard San Andres is an incredible place to visit. I don't think any cruise ships go there. The reason why I know about it is because I watched this YouTube channel from a guy that has a 55-foot sailing boat, and he travels around the Caribbean. And he was just in, they do those broadcasts. Everybody broadcasts now, so he has a channel.
Aren't there a lot of coral fields around there?
Yeah, there's all coral. You could see it. You could see the coral. You could see the reefs off the coast. I heard San Andres is a beautiful place. And I'm judging from those videos. I don't want to say the name because I don't want to make it seem like I'm promoting anybody. But
must be a diving.
He's a 55 diving haven. The guy has a 55-foot sailboat, and all he does is he has him, his two sons, and it's not his wife, it's his girlfriend, and they travel the Caribbean, and they're in this whole sailing community, and they go around. That's all they do. I'm just fascinated by it because it's such a unique way to live, and they generate revenue. The guy worked his whole life and he retired, and they generate just money to live on by making YouTube videos, and then whatever port he's in, like let's say he's in San Andres and there's a big marina there, or there's a business there that caters to the sailing community, he'll make a promotional video for them, and
Hey, Charles,
like a commercial, and they charges them.
Charles,
yeah.
Kathy Goslin just said the Pearl might be off the coast of Colombia because they let some crew off this week. My friend is Colombian, so that's who posted all those pictures. And he said they were on the way home.
I don't see how it would show up. You know what? Maybe it's just coming up. Here's the Carnival Glory off the coast of Colombia. This might be it. It just says passenger vessel.
I agree with Kathy because all indications are from the communication I've gotten that he says finally on the way home, and he showed some pictures of, I can't remember the place. Oh, shoot. Oh, gosh. It sounded like Panama, but it wasn't. Panama, whatever. But he
Costa Rica,
posted some pictures of the
Panama
girls.
City.
No. It's not Panama. It's just the name sounded like Panama, but it wasn't Panama. The place was uh, mountains, and it looked pretty rough for wild. And I posted the pictures. Oh, excuse me, I reposted the pictures he took.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. I know what you're talking. I know the post you're talking about. I saw those pictures. They were beautiful.
He is the man. He.
What's the name of his band? You told me you really you have very high standards, so I'm curious to know what's the name of his band? Because I know you rave about them.
Oh, hey, honey. Shoot.
It's okay. It's like a unique.
It's on the tip.
I know. Same thing with me.
It's on the tip of my tongue. Hey, honey,
I know.
what was the name of this band? Ivan Sotomayor is his name.
Sotomayor. That's what's on the tip of my tongue. Cause I remember he has the same last name as one of the.
Avalon.
Avalon. Oh. Yeah, I remember
band.
Sotomayor because that's a Supreme Court justice. The Avalon's the name of the band. Kathy's asking if it's Guns N' Roses. They were great. Oh, man, I loved Guns N' Roses way back when. That's great. Maybe Bogota, Kathy's saying. Was it Bogota or Panama? She thinks that Bogota sounds like Panama.
No. It was Bogota was a final destination.
Bogota. I don't know if Bogota is in South Colombia or north of Panama, north of the Central America. I'm all disoriented. I don't know what's going on with me today. Maybe I got too much sun.
Are you drinking iced tea or whiskey?
I'm drinking. I'm hooked on this Crystal Light peach iced tea. That's delicious. It's a little too overpowering. There's no sugar in it.
Must be a Yankee drink because they don't serve that in the South.
You don't have Crystal Light? In the South, they have real sweet tea. Over here,
Iced tea.
Everything is fake in New York City, so we even have fake iced tea, Dirk. Yeah, so that's the show. That's where we're at. The ships are out and about. We're still patiently waiting. And believe it or not, despite all these protests up here in New York, every day I get an alert on my phone where there's new protests. I'm going to give up my search soon, folks, so the screen's going to change. Despite that, Dirk, there's been really no increase in hospitalizations for the virus. There's been no, yeah. So I was looking at the data, and I know this became the coronavirus show since this whole thing happened. So these are the daily count of hospitalizations in New York City, and this it goes to 611. It's a little bit delayed because takes them some time to gather data. So this is about 3 days old. Only 22 people in the entirety of New York City were hospitalized because of positive COVID. And that's compared to the spike was April 6th, 1,709 people, Dirk, hospitalized.
Let me ask you this. Do you think being the medic specialist, would you say that the amount of tests have something to do with the numbers?
Oh, absolutely. So what they're saying, I was just telling this to my son and my daughter because they were watching YouTube and there was some information about an increased number of spike in cases. What's happening, really what you have to look at, ladies and gentlemen, and the governor of New York said this also not long ago. So I'm no expert, and I have to preface everything I say with the fact that I'm not an expert on COVID. I am a hospital. I work in the healthcare industry. I'm an administrator, so I'm a business person. I am not a clinical person when it comes to infectious disease. So anything I say, I always have to preface I'm not an expert, but
Excuse me, Charles.
Yes, sir.
You are not a doctor. You just play one on TV.
I'm not a doctor. I play one on not even on TV. I have a face for radio, Dirk. So I'm not an expert. What I'm about to say is, it makes sense, and it's what I've heard some elected officials say, is that you have to look at the hospitalization rate, not the positive rate, not the COVID data, because what's happening is COVID tests are becoming more and more available. So more and more people are being tested. Early on, when all this whole thing happened, we suspected somebody had COVID, but we could never know. We just treated them like they did. We just didn't know because there were no tests, Dirk. You couldn't test them. There were limited numbers of tests. So now
Well,
that
Charles,
testing becomes more and more available, more and more people are being tested positive.
Charles, let me give an example. Norovirus, the norovirus on the ships?
Yeah.
The same thing is that the people that actually ignore a virus and they quarantine them, whoever said, "Oh, I got a stomach ache," whatever, they quarantine them without a test.
Right. Yeah, you
So
have
I
to.
think the same thing happened. The way I hear you, I think the same thing happened, and of all of the death, you don't even know if that was a flu or if it was coronavirus or if it was the COVID.
Correct. Oh,
I'm just guessing. I don't know.
no, you're right. I think did we go off the air? No, we're on the air. Okay.
I don't know.
I got some weird error message. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. You're correct, Dirk. You got to treat them. So we would just treat them, and they would isolate them as if they were positive because there were no testing. There was very limited testing available. As more and more tests become available, you're going to see more and more people test positive. So what you have to look at, folks, is the hospitalizations, the hospitalization rate in your area, because that is a true reflection of what's happening. Not the testing, because as you know, there are some people who get this virus and they have zero symptoms. So what you should track is the hospitalizations. And you can see in New York, despite all that's happening, at least right now, and I bet you this changes in the next week, you're going to see more and more people get hospitalized over the next week or so, because I'm sure that people are going to get infections from all these gatherings that are happening.
Oh,
But as of 6/11, and I can't really see it because this is 6/7, this is 6/8, 6/9, 6/10. Yeah, 6/11, 22 people. It went down from the day prior. The day prior to that was 39, and then there's 22. So let's see. I always keep an eye on this stuff. I think about it
Do they
a
do
lot.
they show somewhere how many are healed?
No, no, they don't. They don't. That's
They
a good
do in
point, though.
Tennessee. They say like they have 8,000. I'm just throwing out a number, and 6,500 are positive now, or negative any longer. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so
They have cases. They have these are people who tested positive. They have hospitalizations, and they have deaths.
And I told you about our relative, didn't I? That's captain with the New York Fire Department.
Yeah, how's he doing?
Well, he was 5 weeks, also on the ventilator, etc., etc. He lost about 55 pounds. He was a big man.
Oh my goodness.
And the problem now is that he has to relearn. Part of the brain got affected, and now he has to relearn in counting. They give him like quarters and other pennies and nickels and say, okay, make it $1. And he has problems with that. So he slowly got to retrain his brain on that thing. So plus they think he had a heart attack in between. So it did a lot of damage.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that too. We're seeing
Not
people.
Not just lung damage.
Yeah.
Kidney, brain.
Yep.
So
What? According to the doctors that I work with, there's a lot of people who will come in with that, and there's some kind of coagulation problem, like the blood like forms clots.
yeah.
When you have the virus, and then your heart will throw a clot, and it could wind up back in your heart. It could wind up into your lungs as a embolism. It could wind up in your brain as a stroke. So it's a very scary thing. It's a very scary disease, and you gotta use caution, as everybody knows out there by now. So I know I'm repeating the obvious, but we're on the subject, and some terrible things. We need a vaccine, Dirk. I say it every week. We talk about it. We got to get a vaccine.
Karen Gilliam Zeller, our country is recovered. That must be New Zealand.
What, New Zealand has no cases?
It can't be the USA because some states are amazing and then there are a bunch of states that are spiking again or worse. So
Yeah.
our country is not recovered.
Terrible, man.
Areas are, not the country.
Definitely not. Definitely not. But we're getting there. We're getting there.
Well,
We're getting
it's
there.
a slow process. I mean, it's not something that's happened overnight.
Yeah, no, I tell you what, I went out today. A lot of people out, a lot of people in boats, a lot of people trying to get on with their lives. Vast majority are wearing masks, but not everybody. I do notice that those that are not wearing masks are, try to keep their distance and from others. So everybody's very conscious about it. I'm not sure about the protesting. I really feel that we're gonna see maybe in 2 or 3 weeks. Because all these people go home. They go home and they have parents and they have grandparents. And if those are young people in the streets, or if there's older adults in the streets marching along in solidarity with the protesters, they're at increased risk with all those people around there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in a couple of weeks. I hope and pray that there isn't a spike. We just entered phase 1 last Monday in New York. So businesses are just kind of trying to function in some way here.
Hey Chuck, what's DIC? They get DIC. Karen saying
Our country.
Karen says our country
I don't know.
is recovered, and then they get DIC.
I'm not sure what DIC is. I hope it's not. I hope
it's not dead. It's not dead on arrival.
No. DIC.
Oh, county. Yes. There are lots of counties that recovered.
Disseminated intravascular coagulation.
Oh, okay.
Is a condition in which blood clots form throughout the body, blocking small blood vessels. Symptoms may include chest pain, shortness of breath, leg pain.
Oh, she says our county
speaking.
is recovered. Yeah, there are lots of counties that are recovered, but not the country. I misread that. Sorry about that, Karen.
We're certainly getting there. I wish everybody the best. New York is just, I really feel like getting out of here. I've been looking, not seriously, but really evaluating options of getting out of New York. Because I wasn't happy prior to this, living in New York.
You know where my son is. He is at the Russian River.
Where is he now?
Near, almost on the Russian River. In wine country.
He's still there? Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
What they're going to do, Charles, is, they got the apartment right on the river.
Yeah.
Which is about $5,500
The Hudson. Yeah.
Which is about $55 a month. It's a sky building.
That's beautiful. Where they are at, that's an amazing place, amazing spot.
Is, when they left they drove up to the West Coast. And they left all of their furniture and everything. They didn't desert it, so the property owners couldn't go after them. But what they're going to do now, they're flying back to New York tomorrow, sell or put all their storage, all their furniture in storage, and then
they're going to rent it?
They've been paying a portion of their rent every month, but once they empty the apartment and happening what New York's law says about rent, pay rent backwards, etc., just wait what's happening and do some kind of a payment schedule. Because $5,500 a month is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's a 1 bedroom.
Oh my God! Well, they're right in prime area there. They're like in VIP space over there where they are.
Yeah, when you make a ton of money, that's not bad. But when
when you're not making money, yeah. I feel you. Yeah, it's been terrible. Thankfully, I've always been. Look, I don't get rich working in healthcare, but the benefit of working in healthcare is the stability. That's the good thing, and I've been very fortunate over the years to have that stability in my life, and I'm very grateful for that. I was just talking to my 10-year-old today, telling him about what he wants to do when he grows up, and I said, become a licensed professional. Whatever you do something that you're trained. It's a unique skill and that requires a license.
Yep. Like my
because that's the
like
best, most secure thing. And then go and do your, if you want to open a business or you want to do something, get that professional licensure so you have something.
See, like
And
Charles,
yeah,
as you know, uh, my wife works for the U.S. government, and she's a senior judge. So, government is a fairly secure job too.
that's a great job. Yeah, you got to get in. It's hard to get in now. Like
Oh yeah,
now with those federal and state jobs, those jobs in government are. You got to be
they,
well connected. And up here anyway. I don't know how it is in Memphis or on the federal level, but it's harder and harder to get those jobs. That's why I said get a skill. Look at skills that you need. Look at a licensure that you may need. Get your professional licensure, and then have that, and then you'll have tremendous job security, and then you could do whatever you want, and then you could always fall back on that. I've been very lucky because I do have that. I have a professional licensure, but I work in the business of healthcare. So if the business of healthcare, if I decide I don't like it anymore, or I don't want to do it, or I lose my job, I can go work in that as that professional, and I can go.
amen.
I can go anywhere. I could hang in there. I could go work and have a job, and that's given me a lot of freedom. I think that sense of security has made me more successful in my career.
Charles, but I got two masters. Unfortunately, they're both in the food and hospitality industry. So right
Yeah,
now they're not worth too much either.
not right now, but that's a great skill. So I have that, and I feel very fortunate. It's allowed me to take risk in a different area, and with that risk came reward. I was never afraid to act because I had that professional life. So anyway, I was talking to my son about that. We got a little bit sidetracked, folks. This video, ladies and gentlemen, is me on the Dawn. I think it was last summer, sailing out of New York City, and you can see the Statue of Liberty in the background. This is on the Cruise Mojo YouTube channel. If you're interested in seeing some of those videos, and along with some of our old shows and stuff, they're on the YouTube Cruise Mojo page. Make sure you check out the Cruise Mojo Facebook page, ladies and gentlemen, and make sure you like it and follow that. I always put some stuff on there. If I post a video, I always post it on there first, and then I share it into the Norwegian Cruise Line Latitudes members page. It's a nice place to be. It's easier to find the show if you enjoy this show and you want to view it. It's a lot easier to find on the Cruise Mojo Facebook page versus the Norwegian Cruise Line Latitudes members page. It takes a little bit of time. It kind of gets lost because that's such a busy forum and lots of people post, and so that it tends to get lost. So Dirk, we were looking for the pearl, and Tom Henry found the pearl. Hi, Tom. It is docked in Jacksonville. He used a different locator. I don't know why it's not appearing on the marine traffic locator, but it is on Cruise Mapper. It's docked in Jacksonville, probably preparing to get out of there.
Well,
Who
I'll
else
tell you
we
one
got?
thing. I'm sure, well, whatever. Maybe has he physically seen it, or is it just listed there?
I'm not sure. Yeah, it could be that it's left Tom, but Tom is sharp. He knows the deal with that. He would know. He would know if it might still be sitting there, but
But a
who
crew
knows?
member that's on the way home and is in South American waters, I would say, is fairly reliable.
Yeah, maybe it left a while. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's my theory is off the coast of Nicaragua when they turn off the transponder and the satellite locators to probably maybe the hiding out from pirates. Who knows? I like
That
that sounds much better than the docked in Jacksonville.
yeah, that was
It's much more
that was
adventurous.
that was 2 or 3 days ago. So they ain't going to make it. They're not going to make it from Jacksonville to South America in 2 days.
That's true. That's true. But I want to say hello to everybody. Thank everybody for joining tonight. I know it was a beautiful night out. A lot of people were out and about. I hope you're enjoying the beautiful weather, especially in the Northeast area. We had a couple of beautiful days up here. It was so nice to get out. And I tell you what, when I was out yesterday in that beautiful weather and the breeze blowing and the fresh air because I was by the water flying my drone and the smell of the salt air, it really brought me back in some
Oh,
strange
shut
way
up.
to cruising.
Shut up.
Some
Shut
strange
up.
way. It did. It brought me
The
back.
Mississippi doesn't smell like salt water.
It brought me back, and it got me thinking to how much I'd like to go on a cruise in the near future. So hopefully, and we say it every week, we're hoping and praying that we can get back to some sense of normalcy soon. And I think the only way we're going to get there is with the vaccine. And hopefully those officials, the elected officials that we have in office, are working hard to get us all one. We only need about 350 million, Dirk. What's the big challenge with that, right?
Nothing to it.
No big deal. Come on. That's a walk at the park. So we're almost there, folks.
Ron is taking the challenge. So, Ron, I would PM you with details, and then we can exchange stuff and also have Charles tasting some good Texas and some good Tennessee and make a decision that he both likes both.
Hook me up, Ron. I'm happy to do the taste test, and I'll report it live on the air if you'd like. I'll even eat it live on the air if I have to.
All right.
But ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for tonight. With Dirk, we're so happy that you're back and you're on the mend. That you sound great. So happy that you're here tonight and got a lot of well wishes from everybody.
I appreciate it very much.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. As I said earlier, visit us, like and follow Cruise Mojo on Facebook. Check out our YouTube channel. Subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. We're on all the major social media platforms. Looking to build, so if you could do that and share it with your friends and family, we'd greatly appreciate it. Other than that, enjoy the rest of this beautiful evening, folks, and we'll see you next Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Cruise Mojo page and the Norwegian Cruise Line Latitudes members page. Have a good night, everybody. Dirk, any final thoughts?
Well, just thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for all the well wishes, and we see you when we see you.
We'll see you when you see you. We'll see you next week, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye.
Good night. Tell me when we off charge.